Funny how that nickname still fits at 30, meets the man who beat him fair and square 3 years ago, Sugar Shane Mosley, who believes the same strategy will work for him again here.
I won the first fight because of my speed and my movement, and I believe that'll be the same technique I use for this fight.
You're talking about negating Mosley's perceived speed advantage. How?
Well, I mean, I really can't say if he has an advantage in speed because I'm a fast fighter too, and I just I know that I can outspeed him or out jab him. It's going to be a whole different fight, and people are going to be very excited that that the Golden Boy will win this fight.
Under egocentric trainer Floyd Mayweather, Oscar claims he'll be much smarter this time.
I will have a game plan now. Unlike the first one, the first fight we had in the year 2000, I didn't have no game plan whatsoever. And my conditioning, I will not fade out in the last rounds. I am strong, I am ready to go, and I can't wait.
I just think Shane is too strong for Oscar and a little too fast for him. And the style is just a little different to match up with Oscar that would allow Shane to win.
Since their first meeting, De La Hoya has cemented his place among the all-time greats with a superb win over Fernando Vargas, while Mosley's form has dipped in 2 damaging defeats to Vernon Forrest. Can he still dazzle us like he did 3 years ago? And remember, he's only had 3 rounds at this new weight of light middle.
I think I'm leaving faster than I was at 47, which is kind of ironic, but I'm a little faster and I'm sharp. I'm ready to go.
If Mosley does rediscover the concert pitch he found in LA, Oscar could be in trouble again, especially as the champion has needed a cortisone injection in his injured left hand.
The hand will not be a problem. The hand will not be an issue. Nothing will be an issue concerning to pains. I am pain-free. I feel strong. I feel ready mentally, physically. It's going to be a night to remember.
These are 2 outstanding fighters who perform at a rarefied level. My feeling is that De La Hoya will have the answers this time. I expect him to gain emphatic revenge.
Honesty is one of his strengths.
I'm not sure who wins the fight because it really, to me, it doesn't really matter because I want to win anyway. But I can break down the fight to you. Now you have Mosley and you have De La Hoya. This fight's the same fight it was 4 years ago when Mosley was a relative unknown champion and De La Hoya was the man in boxing. And De La Hoya had everything that Mosley wanted. Mosley fought, went out, took his championship, all the accolades that De La Hoya had. Now Mosley is the man, the best fighter in the world. Now, 4 years later, same situation. All the things that Mosley had was ripped away, taken away from him by me. Now De La Hoya is back on top of his game again. Mosley's trying to get what De La Hoya has. So the rematches are rematching every sense of the word. Now, with Mosley, people say that, well, since Mosley had those 2 losses, he had confidence problems.
What's your gut feeling if I had to sort of pin you against the wall, which I wouldn't like to do, and you had to go one way or the other, what would you say?
Well, I'll tell you, that's the $1 million question. I couldn't call it. It's just whoever won it bad enough that night is going to win the fight. I can guarantee that. I can't say whoever won it bad enough. This fight is not about who the best junior middleweight in the world. Really, it's about who the baddest guy in California, who's the baddest guy on that block. You know, who's the best fighter on a block. That's all it's about.
De La Hoya is more focused on what he's doing than he's been since he was a young fighter, and I just think he's better now than he's ever been. Mosley's coming off 2 losses. Mosley hasn't won in 2 years and 2 months. It's a big, there's a big gap there, and I think it's just De La Hoya's time.
Well, I think Shane Mosley's going to win, similar to the way he won the first time, because he has a psychological advantage. They're both evenly matched skill-wise. I think in the back of Oscar's mind, he knows that he can't really beat Shane and that their skills match up so well. Plus, Shane is a much faster fighter than Oscar's used to facing, and he's actually faster than Oscar is, and Oscar has trouble with fighters that throw things back at him.
I think Oscar De La Hoya will win. I picked Shane Mosley the first time, but a lot has happened in 3 years since their first meeting when Shane won. Number one of which is Shane has not won another fight in 25 months now. 2 losses to Vernon Forrest and no decision to Raul Marquez. Number one. Number 2, I think that this plays with his head because he was invincible, undefeated the first time. You do things when you're undefeated you don't do. And number 3 of which is For Oscar, this is his redemption. That's what it's called.
I'm picking Oscar. You know, I think that I picked him the first time, and it was a very close fight. And I think that Shane has lost maybe just a little bit since the 2 losses to Vernon. And Oscar is just bubbling over with confidence because of the way that he fought against Fernando Vargas. And I just think that maybe he has just a little more desire to do it than Shane did.
Mosley.
Welcome to what feels like the biggest fight in Vegas since Leonard Hagler in 1987. It feels that big. Here comes Sugar Shane Mosley, winner of the first fight between these two. From Pomona in California, former world champion at lightweight and welterweight. The man who, according to promoter Bob Arum, had the keys to the kingdom but forgot to open the door. They thought he might be the new Sugar Ray Robinson. Now Glennie has to prove he's still the same Sugar Shane Mosley.
Well, he does. All he's got, all he's bringing in the ring is the fact that, and it's a very important fact, he's already beat Oscar De La Hoya. He's got that confidence, he's got that strength, that sense of purpose, and that's what he's bringing in. He is very talented, he has got fast hands, and he's a puncher, so he might have the tools to do it again.
Absolutely bubbling atmosphere. Every seat sold weeks ago. Black market tickets changing hands for as much as $12,000, would you believe? 30,000 more fans watching around Vegas on closed circuit screens. And Sugar Shane Mosley, as he's done all week, exudes an air of quiet self-belief and confidence. He looked magnificent at the weigh-in, and those who've seen him in training say he really does look very, very sharp.
Well, he did. He looked fantastic at the weigh-in. Looked very, very strong and defined and very purposeful, and he looks like he's fit into the light middleweight division quite well. But that is the question mark. Is he the strong man at this division?
And can he turn the clock back to where he was 3 years ago? He's had a rocky patch. Those 2 losses to Vernon Forrest. What scars have they left to his confidence and his psychological well-being? I think that's a vital, vital factor in this fight. But De La Hoya is preparing to make his entrance. And you have to be in America to understand how big a sports star this fellow is around here. Probably at the peak of a glittering career. Speaks fluent Spanish, switches between English and Spanish effortlessly. 5 world championships, Olympic gold, earnings in excess of $100 million, making him the highest earning fighter in history outside the heavyweight division. I think it's not an exaggeration to say he's as big over here as Beckham is in Britain.
Most definitely. You know, he transcends the sport of boxing. He is such a big, big star, and you're so highly respected, so highly loved.
He was married a couple of years ago to a Puerto Rican pop star. He says that's changed him for the better in and out of the ring. But he also says if he loses to Mosley again here, he will retire. And then he adds with a smile, but I won't lose.
Well, that's a mark of his confidence. He thinks this is a fight he can win again, and that's what he wants.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Mr. Bob Arum and Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present the moment the boxing world has been waiting for, the rematch. 12 rounds of boxing for the Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Brought to you in association with Golden Boy Promotions and the undisputed king of beer, Budweiser. Sanctioned by the WBC, WBA, and IBA. And governed by the authority of the Nevada State Athletic Commission Chairman, Dr. Luther Mack, Executive Director, Mark Ratner. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this bout on the 10-point system will be Stanley Christodoulou, Dwayne Ford, and Annette Hampton. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, working in the 159th time in a world title bout, Joe Cortez. And now, from the sold-out MGM Grand Garden Arena, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue and officially weighing in at 154 pounds. His professional record consists of 38 victories, including 35 knockouts with only 2 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger from Pomona, California, the 2-time world champion, former lightweight champion of the world, former welterweight champion of the world, Sugar Shane Mosley. He approached the ring fighting out of the red corner, wearing black and officially weighing in at 154 pounds also. Since he captured the Olympic gold, his professional record stands at 36 victories, including 29 knockouts with 2 defeats. From East LA, the 6-time world champion, the former junior lightweight, former lightweight, former super lightweight, former 2-time welterweight, and reigning super welterweight champion of the world, the Golden Boy, Oscar de la Hoya.
A sense of tingling excitement and expectation as Michael Buffer completes the introductions. We wish Michael well. He's had a very serious eye operation. He was in danger of losing the sight of an eye. It's good to see him here tonight. Joe Cortez, he's firm, but he's fair, is in charge.
All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in our dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all time. Punches here are good. Punches here, we went over this belt situation that's taken care of by the commission and by myself. But with a good, clean fight, obey my commands at all time. Remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch them up.
Go, everybody out.
Celebrity sprinkled audience, including James Caan, Michael J. Fox, Tiger Woods, Magic Johnson, Christina Aguilera, including Lennox Lewis, and Marco Antonio Barrera. Between them, they've had 39 World Championship fights. Neither has been stopped in a total of 79 career appearances. Redemption, but for whom tonight? Mosley trying to rescue a reputation that's taken a knock since the first win. De La Hoya trying to redeem himself and gain revenge from what happened in that Los Angeles Classic 3 years ago. The Golden Boy in the black trunks here.
But what strategy is De La Hoya going to have? Is he going to try and force the fight like he did last time? Or is he going to try and be cute, try and box, use some skills?
Mosley says speed and movement will be the keys again. But does he still have that at a weight half a stone heavier? De La Hoya, important for him to establish the jab, because that's what worked so well for Vernon Forrest when he beat Mosley. And straight away, De La Hoya is sharp with that left jab. He's had a cortisone injection in his left hand, which forced him earlier on, that injury, to miss 3 days training, but he says it won't be a problem here. But it's a worry.
It is a worry. Any sort of hand problem or niggle in a big fight like this is a problem. But De La Hoya already shown good hand speed himself. That's probably something he's worked on to try and negate the speed of Mosley.
The more natural light middleweight. He's looked at his best almost at light middle, De La Hoya. The 5th of his World Championships. Mosley got into the body there. Oh, but he has to take some sharp punches from De La Hoya, who looks needle sharp early on.
Mosley not moving that head, he's staying pretty straight up.
But he caught De La Hoya there with a left hand and seemed to momentarily rock him, Glenn.
He did. Definitely hurt De La Hoya with that left hook.
So maybe there's a little answer to those who think that Mosley is not a proper light middleweight yet after only 3 rounds in this division.
Well, Mosley gave De La Hoya problems with the overhand right in their last fight. Is he going to bring that punch in as well?
De La Hoya was getting countered over the jab in the first fight. Smart boxing early from De La Hoya, but that hurtful-looking left hand from Mosley.
Well, that was a good reflex punch. He just tried again, not as good that time. But he's trying to stop the jab of De La Hoya with the left hook.
Sharp work again, De La Hoya, left and right. A battle of wills and skills and maybe shifting strategies here. And De La Hoya's first round, I fancy. To dismiss Mosley as simply a sweet boxer and a cutie, but of his 38 wins, he's got 35 knockouts.
Well, you've got to respect that. He is a puncher, albeit at lightweight more than ever, but you know, he can bang.
Round 2 for the WBC and WBA light middleweight titles. Brilliantly done on the counter from De La Hoya. And his 25th World Championship fight tonight. It's the 16th for Mosley.
There's a little short right hand in there from De La Hoya, just getting a bit rough in close.
A lot of extra weight Mosley's had to put on for this one. Seems to be around the shoulder area. He actually has a reach advantage, Mosley, of a couple of inches.
But it's De La Hoya who's getting off first, and that jab causing Mosley a few problems.
Mosley really went for it with a countering right, didn't manage to find it. That's what he's going to try and do. When De La Hoya throws the jab, whip in the right hand, maybe over the top. Hasn't worked yet, but might.
De La Hoya carrying those hands a little low. We have to watch that with the speed of Mosley.
This is a thinking man's fight, to be certain. Good body shot there from De La Hoya, whose hand speed seems the superior so far.
Yeah, he's worked on that. He's tried to quicken up and get the punches off fast, rapid succession with that jab.
Watch your heads out, both of you guys, watch your heads.
They were 27 and 28 the last time they met. Mosley was 32 last week. De La Hoya is 30.
Again, it's the double jab and beating Mosley to the punch, which is winning the round for De La Hoya.
De La Hoya electing to outbox the boxer.
But that left hook from Mosley just looks a danger.
One of the keys here could be if one of them can find something that the other one hadn't thought of, because they know each other so well. You can almost hear those brilliant boxing brains ticking over from here.
You can. It looks as if De La Hoya's worked hard on that speed. You know, he's thinking about it. He's going into this fight with a game plan.
He wants that revenge, wants to put the record straight. Says he's only got a couple more fights left to go. Greatly to his credit that he wants to step up to the plate for the difficult ones, not take easy options. De La Hoya continues to... Here's round 3. Of course, he's changed trainer since the first fight. De La Hoya had Robert Alcazar. He went in the shake-up that followed the defeat. And so for a time did promoter Bob Arum, but they're back together now. Now, can Mosley find an answer? Or is he just a bit slower at this weight?
Well, there's a few years gone by, and he's a bit heavier, and maybe the speed has been affected.
That was on the low side from Mosley. Two fighters, by the way, get on very well together. There's been no silly ballyhoo in the build-up. Two very classy guys. Right hand from Mosley, hands around the temple of De La Hoya. He just does drop the left glove sometimes, De La Hoya. He does have that glove a bit low.
Yeah, he holds both hands pretty low. They're both round chest height.
Funny, because in the second half of the first fight, De La Hoya was made to look ponderous by the wit and skills and cuteness of Mosley. But there's been a change. And it may have something to do with the bad experiences Mosley's had since the first meeting. De La Hoya a 5-2 on favourite with the Vegas bookies, who don't get much wrong. Oh, and Mosley walks into a stiff jab.
Yeah, he's carrying that head pretty high. You know, he's got no shoulder and head movement, and that's letting De La Hoya get through with that jab.
It's high-class stuff again. Maybe Mosley figures the second half of the fight might be his time again.
Well, it's definitely a different performance from De La Hoya.
He whipped in the left hook as well there. In a way, Mosley at the moment, early on anyway, is being beaten in his own game, the speed game.
Well, will the strength, the extra strength and power of De La Hoya tell in the later rounds?
Didn't quite get there with the first right hand. The second one did land with some force from De La Hoya.
Mosley's just out of distance. He's just hitting thin air. De La Hoya's in and out so quick.
De La Hoya just looks so much smoother. I think he's won the first 3 rounds. Negative vibes in that corner.
Yeah, there is. There's concern, I think, from Jack Mosley that Shane is not up in the tempo, that he's not listening.
I may be out of order here, but I'm not quite sure the relationship between father and son is quite as close as it used to be. Jack Mosley's no longer handling the affairs of Sugar Shane, who manages himself, and there was a feeling maybe in the camp that his career took the wrong path after the first win. And a left hand, and maybe a clash of heads as well. There was a clash of heads, and it's cut De La Hoya. It's a minor cut, only a minor cut by the side of the eye for De La Hoya, and it was a clash of heads. Nothing to worry about. You could hear what the ringside doctor was saying. But that's really the first thing, apart from that left hook in the first round, that's gone wrong for De La Hoya, who's putting rounds in the bank.
Well, that shouldn't bother De La Hoya. The thing, you know, he's called the golden boy. He's so good looking and such a good personality, but he's a tough guy as well.
Caught by a right hand. Mosley just might be lifted by that little breakthrough, even if it was accidental.
De La Hoya going for the body and the heads clashing again.
Yep. De La Hoya just giving out 1 or 2 distress signals about that.
Interesting that Mosley was the one looking to hold when they got on the inside.
Mosley himself, who was shaken by a bad clash of heads in his first defeat against Vernon Forrest. He says he was never the same after the second round.
Good shots from De La Hoya there. Mosley's trying a bit more for that right hand to the body.
It's getting a bit rougher on the inside, this. Heads banging together. And listen to the crowd as they go toe-to-toe for the first time almost.
Well, they know they're boxing at the moment, but they know this fight will ignite. They'll stand, they'll slug.
Chopping little right hand from De La Hoya. Has he moved on a level since the first fight, and has Mosley gone down a level? That was really one of the questions going in.
Well, he's just busier in there at this moment, De La Hoya, just throwing more punches when he can. Again, Mosley just let punches go in mid-air.
There's almost a hint of desperation about some of his work.
Well, he can't get a hold of De La Hoya. De La Hoya is in and out so quick.
The blood flows a bit thicker from that cut by the right eye of De La Hoya, but the blood is flowing down by the side of the eye. It's not really a problem. By the way, was saying that Mosley gives you feints and misdirection. You have to know the difference between the real openings and the traps when you fight him. So far, De La Hoya, I think, has been finding the real openings, mostly with his left jab.
Solid right there from De La Hoya.
Mosley gets in with the right hand a couple of times. The second one land flush. De La Hoya took it okay. Mosley's camp feel that De La Hoya has become easier to hit since he's been with Floyd Mayweather Sr.
Well, that could be true. He's got a more relaxed style, dropping the hands a bit more to try and get the speed.
Well, Vargas hit him a few times, but De La Hoya produced a brilliant finish that night to stop Vargas in 11. So he knows how to come through the fire.
Mosley trying to just step in that extra pace now, trying to get more into his punches.
He needs to do something to break De La Hoya's grip and rhythm.
De La Hoya just a little more thoughtful in this round.
Most of it is kind of boxing's answer to high-class chess, isn't it, so far?
Well, he said he was going to pose more problems this time, De La Hoya. He wasn't just going to go out there and try and jump on Mosley and use his strength. He was going to do something different, try and outthink him.
That was cleverer from Mosley. Found a couple of openings there. Huge respect between these two. They both know how good the other guy is.
Well, he's looking to force it a little bit more, Mosley. De La Hoya not doing as much in this round.
Yeah, he's just dropped off his work rate a bit, De La Hoya.
There's that little bit of thought there that's not allowing him to beat Mosley to the punch.
Get him out, Khalid. Step back, Khalid. Step back. Step back.
Still the battle for outright control of the fight going on, but how about that from De La Hoya? Lovely little uppercut on the inside.
Good uppercut from Mosley as well.
Yeah, he came back with something, didn't he? The last fight got better and better as it goes on. And there, Mosley whips in 2 hooks.
Good work from De La Hoya. Now it's warming up.
Football-style roar around Vegas, and Mosley goes back to his corner with his hands raised aloft after what was his best round so far. De La Hoya, so sweet and classy out of the ring, says Emmanuel Stewart. Lewis is trying to win the bell rings, cold-blooded and ruthless, one of the worst I've ever seen.
Well, I think you've got to be, if you're going to be that good. 6 world titles at 5 different weights. You've got to have some little bit of nastiness in there.
Can Mosley build on that little bridgehead he found for himself in the 5th?
Well, the tide has changed a little bit because Mosley's the one who's getting off first.
Counter left hook, but then a left back again from Mosley. De La Hoya loses his balance. Almost tripped up, I think, by Mosley then.
Good sportsmanship. They touch gloves, real professionals, these two.
see the concentration level in there.
Well, these are finely tuned athletes at their very, very best.
This is like the Boxing Brains Trust, isn't it?
It really is.
De La Hoya ahead, but you sense the argument is far from over.
Just seems to be getting a bit of momentum, doesn't he, Mosley? Just starting to roll forward.
Just inching into the contest. So far, none of the toe-to-toe slugfest, as they call it over here, that the fans would want, but I'm sure the connoisseurs are absolutely loving every minute of this. There's those feints from Mosley. Two body shots from Oscar De La Hoya. Time out. De La Hoya, yeah, loose, the old problem, the loose bandage on the glove.
Up here also, here.
Still haven't managed to fix that.
Get up here.
We've been complaining for long enough, haven't we?
Get the tab real quick, Joe. Right there.
Well, we say it time and again, there must be some high-quality bandage they can find that prevents that happening in fights as big as this, where De La Hoya is guaranteed $17 million and Mosley $4.5 million. And they'll earn a lot more from that if the pay-per-view returns in America are as big as they say they're going to be. Good right hand. What a classy shot that was from De La Hoya. Found a beautiful angle for it, whipped it in.
That's a measure of the concentration. They only need a split second to see that gap and get the shot in.
More lateral movement from De La Hoya. Ford, one of the usual Nevada judges, but Stan Christodoulou is an outstanding official from South Africa, and Anak Hontongkam, who's been around the big fights for years, from Thailand. Those are the three guys scoring it. And remember, the draw, there was a huge amount of money for it in the last couple of days, down to as narrow as 10-1. So far the fight not quite hitting the heights of the first meeting, possibly.
Well, I've got De La Hoya 58-56, but that gap just closing a bit as Mosley, I think, is just starting to roll forward and get some better punches on.
Just struggling to find De La Hoya cleanly with his shots. Jim Watt was making the point back in the studio that Mosley needed a good start tonight, with his confidence perhaps not everything it was back in the year 2000. I don't think he got that good start.
No, he did land a decent shot. That might give him a bit of confidence, but it was a slow start from Mosley.
Watch the heads again. Yet another head clash. They give each other an old-fashioned look and simply touch gloves and get on with it. These two have sparred a bit in the past as well as fought each other, and of course they met when they were 11 and 12 years old. Mosley won that one too. They come from only 30 miles apart from each other. East LA, of course, the Barrios of East LA from De La Hoya, and Mosley from Pomona in California. Oh, there's the right hand, and this time the fight was from De La Hoya with the left.
Well, Mosley doing lots of feints, but not many punches in this round.
Just not doing enough, Mosley. Did he reach a career high, an emotional high in that first fight? Can he reproduce it, or did something of the fire go out somehow after that?
Well, De La Hoya getting the punches off there.
Furious fist from Mosley.
But not really landing.
No, not landing, I was about to say. De La Hoya too elusive, too clever, too fast thinking. And there's a right hand that travelled at the speed of sound, it seemed. This is a De La Hoya round.
Yes, this is definitely De La Hoya just showing a super level of concentration.
And getting the job done so far. Having said that, he was getting the job done at this point in the first fight.
That's exactly right, but he's employed different tactics. The tactics in the first fight. Oscar De La Hoya here, a great thinker as well as a great fighter.
I think the real top quality operators, and De La Hoya certainly that, can adapt their styles to meet the problems. Mosley quite free with the head as he walks De La Hoya across the ring there. Just one or two signs of frustration about Mosley.
I think that's right, and I think there was a bit of frustration coming into it there. That's not really Mosley's game, that bulling around like that.
Mosley would have got $10 million if there'd been an immediate rematch after the first fight. He's a little bit hacked off that he's only getting $4.5 million for this, but the question I'd ask him is, after 2 defeats to Forrest, where else was he going to get $4.5 million? Rough stuff on the inside again.
Well, Mosley just pushing in there, barging in with the shoulder and the head, trying to intimidate De La Hoya in there a little bit.
And that's a sign, I think, a first sign maybe, that Mosley knows he's not getting the job done in the way that he would have hoped beforehand. He was insistent his speed and movement would do it again for him, but the speed has largely come from Oscar this time.
Trying with a big right hand to the body there, but De La Hoya came back with a left. That's one of the things he always does, comes straight back.
Good uppercut, Mosley, after that combination from De La Hoya. Good shot, but only one. And then the jab was firm too. Better from Mosley, and the left hook to the body.
He's getting fired up, Mosley in there, wanting to get De La Hoya into a brawl a bit.
That's what he wants to do. He wants to stop him outboxing him in the way that he has been. He wants something different, I think, Mosley. The cutie has been out-cuted so far.
Well, he said he was going to bring something else to this fight.
Again, Mosley forced to miss by the eel that De La Hoya has resembled at times tonight.
Two good right hands there from De La Hoya.
This man would have been a star in any era, and in that I include the Hagler, Leonard, Duran, Hearns period back in the 1980s. He says he would have loved to have fought Duran of those four.
Well, it's amazing. It's almost 10 years since his first world title and only his 12th fight.
Yep, Jimmy Breedle, way back in 93 at 9 stone 4, and here he is up at 11 stone, having mopped up at every weight in between. I think the crowd, kind of performance, not hugely exciting, but so clever.
That's right, it's very clever. But I think we want to see a little bit more from De La Hoya.
Isn't he entitled to do the job this way if it works for him?
Sure, that's why he's won so many titles and got such great longevity at a top level.
Again, head clash. Been a lot of that. Two of them even smile through the gum shield at each other for a moment. Oh, it's a beautifully timed countering left hook from De La Hoya this time. Better from Mosley that time. Oh, and a body shot was a fierce right hand. And he gasps for air, De La Hoya, after that. That was a good shot from Mosley.
Just put De La Hoya on the back foot a little bit more now.
I think that body shot's hurt him.
Yeah, he's trying to dig them in. He's looking for the solid body shots. I think Mosley knows that.
There is another body shot followed by a left hook to the head and then a right. This is the best spell maybe yet for Mosley.
Well, this is where maybe he's takes something else from De La Hoya.
Mosley having to find something and managing to do it.
You have these body shots.
What have we got here, Glenn? 2 more left hooks. Big round for Mosley. And all the trouble, I think, started with that right to the body.
Yeah, I think that's what did it. The body punching, but he's coming in with good head punches now. And again, the left hook.
He's measuring De La Hoya for size, or trying to. The blood flows again from the injured right eye of De La Hoya, who's caught again. And is going through a rocky patch here in the 9th.
Well, this is where we'll get a test of De La Hoya's courage.
Boy, if that had landed clean, it might have taken De La Hoya's head off.
He's going to have to show that grit, that determination. Mosley's on a run.
Mosley isn't done with yet. He might be a long way behind on the scorecards, but he's starting to go for it here, and it could be quite a finish.
That eye's getting worse, that cut is getting longer.
Mosley starting to tee off on De La Hoya, who's lost the speed and elusiveness. Maybe it was that body shot that did it. He needs the break, De La Hoya.
He does. I think he's starting to tire. He's losing his game plan a little bit, just coming apart.
Mosley won it down the stretch in LA. Can he produce something dramatic in the late rounds here? Another body shot from Mosley to end the round, which was easily his best of the fight. De La Hoya's abdominal protector riding too high and stopping the body shots before the fight. It's not really riding that high tonight. It is a bit, isn't it? Just a bit round the side there.
You can see it a little bit, but they obviously knew why, because they were going to put the big punches into the body.
Well, both have trained long and hard up at Big Bear, only a mile apart for this, and they'll need that conditioning now. Was that minute long enough for De La Hoya to get himself back together?
Well, he got a nice left hook on there as Mosley attempted the body shot.
Was that just a blip for De La Hoya, or was it the start of something big for Mosley? Round 9. This fight starting to catch fire late on. And again, Mosley starting to wing away with these left hands. Different fight now.
It is. He's not getting off first, De La Hoya. He's not getting that jab working. And Mosley just walking through him and able to tee off with these big punches.
But all the best fights need twists and turns, like a good book. Different chapters. And of course, you can't quite guess the end. Mosley hasn't really built on what he did in the last round. De La Hoya's got off pretty lightly so far in this session, and whips in his own left hook. It might have hit the glove, to be fair.
Yeah, he should have attacked a little bit more. I think Mosley's let De La Hoya get himself established again in this round.
I'm reminded of De La Hoya's big finishes against Fernando Vargas and Ike Corte to score 2 of his biggest wins. Did it against Obakar in the 11th as well, didn't he? Here we are in the 10th this time. Come on, get on with it, says Joe Cortez. He never thought the ref would have to do that tonight.
You didn't. And they do negate each other a little bit because they're so talented, so skilled.
Oh, De La Hoya gets the better of those exchanges. Much the cleaner punches.
Mosley anxious, rushing in there.
Mosley wants to declare war, and he's going in with the head pretty freely now, trying to make that cut worse, trying to gamble. The boxer's become the brawler.
Yeah, he had to try and do something, but De La Hoya's round for me.
Very definitely. I don't know, there's just a bit of a flat feeling from me coming from Jack Mosley in that corner tonight. He's been on Mosley's case from an early point. It's not a positive kind of corner, is it, that? Am I being too harsh?
No, I think it has been like that, but I think he was disappointed by the bad beginning from Mosley.
He was very slowly out the stalls tonight, certainly Mosley. He left himself with a mountain to climb on the scorecards, and that's why now he really has to go for the knockout. No other way about it. Low on the left hand from Mosley.
He never makes much of a fuss, though, De La Hoya.
Well, he's a warrior, isn't he? Through and through. He might be the golden boy with the looks and the charm and the fame and the fortune and the money. But he's still in love with the brutal business of boxing, the brutal artistry, as one of the writers has dubbed it. Punching around the back of the head, really, from Sugar Shane Mosley there. No sign of any problem with the left hand tonight for De La Hoya, despite the injury in sparring.
No, well, if there has been, he hasn't shown it. Used that jab well.
He may not be feeling anything with that cortisone injection he had the other day. Don't know what damage is actually being done. It's been a chronic problem for him over the years. It's been surgery and goodness knows what.
Well, neither one getting much off in this round, a bit quieter.
Left hook, good shot. Mosley sent the sweat spraying under the lights, but De La Hoya seems okay. The right hand looked heavier. Here goes Mosley. Listen to the crowd. Is this another storm for De La Hoya to weather before he gets to the finishing line? Gum shield has come out for one of the fighters.
Good shots from De La Hoya.
Referee will let it go until there's a lull. If he's noticed the gum shield come out, Joe Cortez, that is.
I'm not sure he has.
No, because there's been a lull. It certainly is now. No, he hasn't seen it. It's Mosley's gum shield.
And De La Hoya pours it on, lets the shot score.
Tell you what's a key factor for me in this fight. Mosley's not as fast at 154 pounds, light middleweight.
That's definite. He's strong, but
the move up has cost him the thing he really had over De La Hoya first time.
He had the speed.
But De La Hoya, at times, over 16,000 fans here, and altogether 46,000 watching either on screen or here at the arena in Vegas. Stand by for the final 3 minutes. And Mosley really just has to throw everything at De La Hoya. He has to. He must do. De La Hoya knows that, though, and goes for the big finish. That's the fighting spirit of this man. He's not content to just ease his way through. And that's a cracking right hand from Mosley, and De La Hoya wanted to hold on, Glenn.
Yeah, he did. That was a good one. He didn't use that overhand right. He did there.
Even bigger punch of the fight from Mosley, that one. Right hand, and again De La Hoya takes it. This is why they love this fighter, Oscar De La Hoya, because he wants to have this kind of finish to his fights, but he's letting Mosley maybe have a chance in the fight that Mosley might not have had De La Hoya boxed a bit more conservatively. Maybe he thinks, Oscar, that it's closer on the cards than we think.
Well, he's looking to hold on. He's tired in this last round, De La Hoya.
He is tired. He sort of fell backwards then. Mosley will sense it, but he must be pretty tired too. Well, it's got better as it's gone on, like the first one. Thoroughly enjoyable. Now De La Hoya is content to call off, only briefly though. Picked those two shots magnificently.
Two great shots, really shows his skill in the 12th round.
And unless there's something very dramatic, very late, it looks like De La Hoya is going to get his revenge.
Mosley goes for the body again.
Mosley breathing heavily himself now. Oh, he walked onto a right hand, Mosley, as he tried to get in close. Another cracking shot. He's picking them quite beautifully at times. De La Hoya.
Good boxing on the retreat from De La Hoya. Good counter punching.
Let's be honest, for most of the way, he's done a number on Mosley tonight.
He has. He's just been one step ahead all the way through this. Last 10 seconds.
Apart from that crisis in round 9, you're going to get the bell any moment now. Unless something very weird has happened, it's redemption for Oscar De La Hoya. He avenges the defeat of 3 years ago. We think so anyway, and clearly. And in many ways, what he did was pretty masterful most of the way.
It was, it really was. He showed, he said from the beginning this is what he was going to do. He had another game plan. He knew what to do. He's worked so hard, and he's got a good winner on my card, 117, 112. And he deserved it, and it was a great performance from De La Hoya. Mosley just didn't have the speed, and when De La Hoya beat him to the speed, he couldn't get in the fight.
Well, I've got it very wide for De La Hoya. Now they swap even pleasantries afterwards. It was always fought in a pretty good spirit, despite a few nasty clashes of heads. But De La Hoya, this time, outspeeded Mosley.
He did, right from the start. He got the jab on, and Mosley just couldn't cope with that. He got some good punches in that last round, but look at De La Hoya. Got a great chin, tucked them well.
Dwayne Ford from Nevada, Stan Christodoulou, South Africa, Anik Hongtong Kam from Thailand.
Well, they're trying to make the noises that they've won new champ from the Mosley camp, but I don't think, judging by Jack Mosley in the corner, that's a bit of false praise, because I think he realized that Mosley was beat.
Well, I had it a very wide 118 to 110, which might be a bit lopsided for De La Hoya. Sometimes the scorecard doesn't tell the story. Some of the rounds were close. Here we go, Michael Buffer.
From the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges, Dwayne Ford, Stanley Christodoulou, and Anik Hongtong Kam, scored this contest 115 to 113 to the winner by unanimous decision, and new
Mosley has got it!
champion of the world!
I do not believe that. Mosley has got it on points. That is extraordinary. He's done it again. He's gained the redemption. But I don't think I will understand that decision for as long as I live.
Well, that's a false redemption for me. He didn't deserve to win that fight. He didn't win that fight.
Well, there have been some controversies and stinks in Las Vegas over the years.
And they go on.
That will be one of the biggest.
And they continue.
De La Hoya puts a brave face on it, but he's been beaten by Mosley again. Well, I thought he was outboxed nearly all the way, Mosley.
Yeah, I did. I mean, he's taking it well, De La Hoya, but I can't believe it.
Bob Arum has come over to us, the promoter, with a puzzled look on his face. And De La Hoya's people are absolutely incredulous by what has happened here. Glenn, I mean, you had it by 5 points. I had it wider than that for De La Hoya.
I don't know what they've been scoring. They've just been scoring on Mosley coming forward and the aggression, but you got to score on the points. And De La Hoya, I mean, it was a masterful display of counter-punching, and he won the fight.
Well, we think so anyway, but you never, ever can tell in this boxing business. We're frankly just dumbfounded. I mean, Glenn and I have been watching boxing and scoring boxing a long time ourselves, but the judges have seen something totally different. And what it was they were watching, I really couldn't begin to explain to you. We await the interviews here with interest. I think, you know, there's going to be a third fight next May after that.
What do you know? Yeah, I think that there's got to be. I'm sure De La Hoya will not want to retire after that.
Well, he said he would, didn't he?
Well, you know, I'm really keen to hear what De La Hoya thinks about the fight, about the score, whether he thought he'd won it.
Thank you very much,
Here's Larry
Jim.
Merchant.
We're with a very disappointed and I think angry Oscar De La Hoya. Okay, you say you're not disappointed. Why?
Because I felt that I mean 15-13. Wow, that's not a close fight in my eyes. I thought I did enough to at least. Shane told me, oh, I thought you had a draw. Damn.
So are you saying you're not disappointed purely because you felt you fought a good fight?
Oh, I felt hard to win. I did. I felt hard to win. As you can see, it wasn't the same as the first fight. I was keeping him at distance. At the last rounds, yeah, I tried to bang with him so I could come out strong and prove once again to the people that I can fight.
All right. I heard you say to some of your handlers that you are going to fight this decision.
Yeah.
What do you intend to do?
Just go the way other fighters fight their decisions and they get turned around. I mean, this is it happened to me in the Trinidad fight, and I thought it was closer, and it happened to me here. I mean, Shane Mosley is a great fighter. He's a great person. He's a great all-around human being, and I give him all the credit in the world. He's one of the classiest acts in boxing.
So what do you think you can do? I mean, it's unprecedented for something like this to happen, but what route do you have to protest?
I don't, probably we'll go by the rounds, study the fight, and then we'll take it from there. If not, I'll just let it go, and that's it. No big deal.
So given the fact that you think you won the fight and that you fought well, will you continue to fight instead of retire as you said you would if you lost?
I have to rest, relax, and then I'll answer that in the next following days.
I mean, just from your point of view as an athlete and feeling that you're still on top of your game, why should you walk away from it?
I don't know. I sometimes get tired, but like I said before, I love the sport. I love boxing. I love fighting in there like a warrior, and boxing smart. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not clear on what's going to happen next, but we'll see.
So you want to go back to the boring life of living with your beautiful wife and your children and living in calm and peace instead of going through all this again?
Actually, Larry, it's more exciting being with my wife than being in the ring, that's for sure.
All right, tell us. You told us before the fight you were going to throw many jabs, you were going to break up his rhythm, and surely through the first half of the fight you felt you were doing that.
Yeah, I was doing that, and again, we wanted to fight hard, and that's what we did the last rounds of the fight. We fought hard, but the first half of the fight, yeah, I said I was going to keep him at bay with my jabs, my right hands, and it was working, but...
Could you believe that you were outboxing him?
I felt, yes. I felt in the... I didn't let him come in. When he did come in, he would be very effective, but when he was outside, that was a game plan, to keep him at bay, and we just put on a good fight.
Did the cut and the blood bother you?
The headbutt, yeah. The headbutt bothered me a bit. I was a bit in not in shock, or I didn't get dazed, or I didn't get hurt or nothing. I was just surprised that the headbutt was hard.
Were you ever hurt in the fight?
No, never hurt. I've never been hurt. I've been maybe when I got dropped against Corte or Campanella, but never hurt.
You're showing us your great smile. You're trying to be a good guy. But I remember seeing that after the first fight with Mosley, when you went back, you were really out of sorts.
Yeah, but I'm fine, Larry. This is not my life. This is I have 60 more years to go in my life, and this is not everything to me. I have my family, I have my wife, I have my kids. I mean, boxing is a big part of my life, and I love boxing, believe me, to show the fans that I can fight, but it's not everything to me.
Would your best revenge be a third fight?
No, I think you know, he beat me twice, and what can I say? That's it.
Thank you very much, Oscar, and thanks for a good fight.
Still exuding charm, but underneath, I think, quite angry. Oscar De La Hoya. He didn't want to see appear to be a sore loser about that. But I don't know. We've asked around one or two people at ringside, and opinions vary on it. But I must admit, I'm at a loss to explain that scoring.
Yeah, I thought it was a De La Hoya win. I thought he boxed a very good fight. He negated the speed of Mosley, and I think he did enough to certainly get a good win there. And I got the body language that he thought he was winning. And I mean, if you listen to the Mosley corner, I'm sure that, you know, they thought they'd lost it.
Yeah, I think Jack Mosley thought they'd lost the fight in the corner there. Mixed reactions among the crowd as well here, who are disappearing now into the casino to bet away all their dollars. Everybody just trying to digest it. Let's have a word with Sugar Shane.
Thank you very much, Jim. All right, congratulations, Shane. Your dad in the corner was telling you over the last half of the fight that you had to catch up, you had to do some damage. The communication we were getting was he thought you were well behind in the fight. Did you feel differently?
I think what my father was trying to say was, you know, he felt that we were in Vegas, Las Vegas, so exactly. I would probably be behind, being that, you know, this is more of Oscar De La Hoya's crowd. So I think that's what he was trying to convey to me.
Were you then surprised when you heard the result?
I was a little surprised because, like he said, you know, we were in Vegas, but
that's what I told him.
But you know, I thought that it was a very close fight, and you know, De La Hoya fought his heart off. He did an excellent job of boxing, moving around. He gave me a little trouble when he moved around to get to him, but you know, I felt a lot stronger than De La Hoya with my punching power and my physical. I felt overwhelmingly stronger than him.
Yet over the last 2-3 rounds, you were fighting with tremendous urgency, as though you knew you had to make up some lost ground.
Yeah, you know, I thought that maybe, you know, like I said, I don't. You never know when you leave it into the hands of the judges. Anything can happen, and you know, De La Hoya is a great warrior, and I felt it was a close fight, and you know, anything can happen.
He's so disappointed. He said he is going to challenge the decision with the Las Vegas Commission. What is your response to that?
I don't know. I thought his father, you know, his father's a little angry, and he said he wanted to challenge it. And
his father,
Joel De La Hoya, said he wanted to challenge the decision. And you know, I think the world De La Hoya, I think he's a great fighter, and you know, I got the decision.
How gratifying is it for you, having said he won the fight outside of the ring, meaning the negotiations, and you had to win it inside?
It's a great feeling, because, you know, to win twice, man, I would have been heartbroken. I mean, to lose twice, I mean, I would have been heartbroken. So we're 1-1.
Do you think this result, which is surprising to many of us, including us at ringside, warrants a third fight?
I think it will warrant a third fight. It'll be great. We could do another fight. Whenever, if he wants to do it, you know, I was all for the second fight right after 2000. So, you know, we'll see.
What are your plans now that you've won these titles at this weight? Do you have anybody in mind who you would like to fight?
Well, I mean, I'm going to go back to the camp with all my people, Gary Shaw, and my people, and my father. and we're going to talk about it and see who we're going to fight next.
Thank you very much, Shane Mosley. Congratulations once again.
Well, that was weird because Mosley didn't produce the brilliant performance that he came up with in Los Angeles 3 years ago, but he's still got the win. He's certainly got the Indian sign over De La Hoya, isn't he?
Well, he has, you know, but I don't know. I didn't get a great feeling that they were overly confident. You know, they were smiling and saying the talk, but it didn't sound with a great deal of conviction that he really believed he'd done it.
No, I don't think he thought he'd won the fight.
No, I don't think he did. I think they're just putting a bit of spin on it because they got the decision.
So that's it. That's the story. A huge controversy here in Las Vegas tonight in this big blockbuster. We're still trying to understand it, but Sugar Shane Mosley has beaten Oscar De La Hoya all over again.